Kit Kats Can Read. Hey guys, it's Katie and welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be bringing you my July anticipated releases. So I was looking as always at the release list on Goodreads to see what was coming out in July, and I had a look at some, and to be honest there wasn't a lot that I knew was coming out, so I was just looking at the synopsis of each of these books, and I've just selected 10 from this list that I think sound really good that I just want to tell all of you guys about. So I'm going to go in order of release date. The first book that I'm going to be talking about is called Kiss of the Royal. This is by Lindsay Dugar. Now it says here it's in a war against the forces of darkness and the royals are losing. Princess Ivy is determined to end this centuries-long conflict once and for all, and her new battle must succeed where the others have failed. Prince Zuck's unparalleled skill with a sword, enhanced by Ivy's magical kiss, should make them an unstoppable pair, but try convincing Zack of that. And this is basically about the princess who has a power of this kiss, however to Zack, kiss is a symbol of love. So it's sort of like, you know, will they team together to sort of sort out this war that's going on, to sort of deal with this? Maybe there'll be a bit of romance on the way, but it's classed as a fantasy, young adult with a romance. So who knows what could happen, but I'm really loving the cover to this, guys. I think it's really beautiful, and this book came out on the 3rd of July, the Kindle edition it says, so definitely get your hands on it, as I definitely will myself. The next book release that's coming out in July is called The Supervillain and Me by Danielle Banas. Now this is the first book that's in a series, and it looks really funny and hilarious. It's pitched as a young adult fantasy contemporary romance comics superheroes. So it literally says the first line is, never trust a guy in spandex. In Abby Hamilton's world, superheroes do more than just stop crime and save cats stuck in trees. They also drink milk straight from the carton and hog the television remote. Abby's older brother moonlights as the famous Red Comet, but without powers of her own, following his footsteps has never crossed her mind, until the city's newest vigilante comes bursting into her life. After saving Abby from an attempted mugging, Morrison's fledgling supervillain, Iron Phantom, convinces her that he is not as evil as everyone says, and that the city is under a vicious new threat. And as Abby follows him deeper into their city's darkest secrets, she comes to learn that heroes can't always be trusted, and sometimes it's the good guys who wear black. So it sounds like it's actually going to be really sort of quirky and really fun, and this book releases on July the 10th. This next book release comes out on July the 12th, and this is called The Life and Death Parade by Eliza Wass. And this book sounds really interesting. It says 1 year ago, Kitty's boyfriend Nicky visited a psychic who told him that he had no future and now he is dead. With the Bramley family grieving in separate corners of their home, Kitty sets out to find the psychic who read Nicky's fate. And instead she finds Ronan, who is a boy posing as a medium who belongs to the Life and Death Parade, a group of supposed charlatans that explore and exploit and thin veil between this world and the next. A group whose members include the psychic and Kitty's late mother. So it sounds really interesting, really different, and I like it. It sounds kind of quirky. Also coming out on July the 12th we have Flawed, which is a book that's had a compilation of authors including Sarah Barnard, Holly Bourne, Tanya Byrne, Non Pratt, Melinda Salisbury, Lisa Williamson, Eleanor Wood. And it says here, The Breakfast Club meets One Day in Flawed, a unique collaborative novel by best-selling, award-winning authors. When they got on the lift, they were strangers. Though, didn't that guy used to be on TV? Sasha, who is desperately trying to deliver a parcel. Hugo, who knows he's the best-looking guy on the lift and is eyeing up Velvet, who knows what that look means when you hear her name, and it doesn't match the way that she looks or the way that she talks. Dawson, who was on TV but isn't as good looking as he was a few years ago, is desperately hoping no one recognises him. Caitlin, who's losing her sight but won't admit it, and who used to have a poster of Dawson on her bedroom wall, and Joe, who shouldn't be here at all but wants to be here the most. One more person will bring them together again on the same day every year. So it sounds really fun and really interesting, and I can't wait to give this book a read. Next of all, jumping on to the 24th of July, we have Contagion by Erin Bowman. I'm loving the cover of this one too, guys. It's just very science fiction-y. This is a science fiction horror, actually. And it says, "It got in us. After receiving an urgent SOS from a work detail on a distant planet, a skeleton crew is dispatched to perform a standard search and rescue mission. Most are dead. But when the crew arrives, they find an abandoned site littered with rotten food, discarded weapons and dead bodies. As they try to piece together who or what could have decimated an entire operation, they discover that some things are best left buried and some monsters are only too ready to awaken." So it sounds spooky and interesting, and a spooky sci-fi as well. I'm definitely all for that. The last books I have to share with you, they all come out on the last day of July, first of which is Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. This one I'm very excited for because I absolutely love The Little Mermaid. So this one says, "Everyone knows what happens in the end. A mermaid, a prince, a true love's kiss. But before that young siren's tale, there were 3 friends. One feared, one royal, and one already dead. Ever since her best friend Anna drowned, Evie has been an outcast of the small fishing town, a freak, a curse, and a witch. A girl with an uncanny resemblance to Anna appears offshore, and though the girl denies it, Evie is convinced that her best friend actually survived, and that her own magic wasn't so powerless after all. And as the 2 girls catch the eyes and hearts of 2 charming princes, Evie believes that she might finally have a chance at her own happily ever after. But her new friend has secrets of her own. She can't stay in Havenstead or on 2 legs unless Evie finds a way to help her, and now Evie will do anything to save her friend's humanity along with the prince's heart, harnessing the power of her magic, her ocean and her love, until she discovers too late the truth of her bargain. The rise of Hans Christian Andersen's iconic villainess is a heart-wrenching story of friendship, betrayal, and a girl pushed beyond her limits to become a monster." So it's a fantasy retellings a young adult mythology and mermaids. Next of all, July 31st release is Heart of Thorns. This is book number 1 in this series by Bree Barton. In the ancient River Kingdom, touch is a battlefield, body is the instruments of war. 17-year-old Mia Rose has pledged her life to hunting Gwyrach, women who can manipulate flesh, bones, breath and blood. Not women, but demons. The same demon who killed her mother without a single scratch. But when Mia's father suddenly announces her marriage to the prince, she is forced to trade in her knives, trousers for a gown. Only after the wedding goes disastrously wrong does she discover she has dark forbidden magic, the very magic that she is sworn to destroy. So it sounds really interesting and an awesome young adult fantasy. Next release, July 31st, is Grace and Fury by Tracy Bangert, and I think this is going to be a first book that's in the series. It's just as untitled number 1 at the moment. So, in a world where women have no rights, sisters Serena and Naomi Tessero face 2 very different fates, one in the palace and one in prison. Serena has been groomed her whole life to become a Grace, someone to stand by the heir to the throne as a shining, subjugated example of a perfect woman. But when her headstrong and rebellious younger sister Naomi catches the heir's eye, Serena takes the fall for the dangerous secret that Naomi has been hiding. Now she's trapped in a life that she never wanted. Naomi has only one way to save Serena, to surrender her as a role of a Grace until she can use her position to release her sister. This is easier said than done. A traitor walks the halls of the palace and deception lurks in every corner, but Serena is running out of time, imprisoned on an island where she must fight to the death to survive, and one wrong move could cost her everything. So it sounds different and interesting, and I like the sound of it. Next of all, probably a book release that all of you guys are really excited for if you have read this trilogy, which has now been extended into a series. So this is The Darkest Minds, book number 4 release, called The Darkest Legacy by Alexandra Bracken. We are finally getting a book number 4. I've only read the first book, but I really enjoyed it, so I'm actually really anticipating this book as well. So this is based 5 years after the destruction of the rehabilitation camps. I don't really want to go into any more detail because it's just more deeper into the series. So all I will say is this is another book that's coming out July 31st. Go get your hands on it. The last book release I'm going to talk with you guys about is called The Girl You Thought I Was by Rebecca Phillips. No one looking at Morgan would think that she has a secret. Not one that she's deeply ashamed of. To everyone that she meets, she's pretty and put together. But looks can be deceiving. For over a year, she's shoplifted countless pieces of clothing and makeup. Each time she tells herself it will be the last, and each time it never is. But then she's finally caught and sentenced to 30 hours of community service. So the image that Morgan has carefully constructed starts to crumble. She's determined to complete her punishment without her friends discovering the truth about her sticky fingers. However, that's easier said than done, especially once she meets Eli, who is a charming, handsome nephew of the owner of the charity shop where Morgan is volunteering. Soon Morgan is faced with an impossible decision to continue to conceal the truth or admit that she's lied to everyone in her life, including the boy that she's falling for. So it's pitched as a contemporary young adult romance, and it sounds really interesting, like she's sort of gone down this dark path and that they've met this person that's just sort of made them realise that they shouldn't be like this. So I'm hoping it's going to be really interesting contemporary, and that, you know, they're going to sort of, you're going to really sort of maybe hate them at the beginning and then learn to like them towards the end, because people can change. So I'm really excited about this one, and again, comes out at the end of the month. So there you have it, guys. Those are just 10 of my anticipated releases coming out in the month of July, this very month. I'm very, very excited to share them all with you, and I hope you guys have found some books that you never knew were being released. But if you know of any others that you're really excited about, then do comment them down below what you are most anticipated coming out in July. But that's it from me from this video. If you'd like to see any more of my videos and you're new to my channel, then please do feel free to subscribe. I don't have a schedule when it comes to uploading, so if you don't want to miss a video, then you can click on the notification icon bell down below the video, and that way as soon as I've uploaded a video, you get to know when I've uploaded and you don't get to miss any videos. But I just want to say again, like, a massive thank you to every one of you guys. You are what help keep this channel going. I don't do this channel for subscribers, I do this as a hobby. Reading is a massive hobby of mine. I love reading, I love escaping into the world of books when I can, when I'm not busy. And it's your comments really that just keep me going and keep me strong, and I love all of you to pieces. So I just want to say a massive appreciation. You guys are fantastic, especially lately where I've not been my best. You guys, you're amazing. So thank you, I love you all to pieces, and that's all I can honestly say. But that's it from me, guys. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie, and I'll see all of you wonderful, awesome people in my next video. Bye!